for anyone who's brainwashed by that absolute stupidity. So it'll work for the company, but not for the people involved.
The big difference between Amway and other MLM scams is that they push that overhead onto the distributors, and so Amway can still make a profit, whereas the distributors are all losing money.
Exactly.
The fundamental issue is retail sales, because if a burger place tried to do the same thing and have most of their burgers being eaten by their own employees, they would go out of business. Their overhead is too high. They could not literally afford to do that.
It would depend how many employees you had. If you had 100, if you had 1,000 employees, it would work quite fine, which is what happens with Amway.
Well, if they were online, they might be able to do it, but a physical store, there's way too much overhead for that to be profitable. There's just no way you can turn a profit under that type of a situation.
You actually could. You could have, if the employees, let's say this is a very hypothetical situation. If you had 1,000 employees at a burger shop and they were spending $1,000 a month, they could do that. That would be profitable. It's completely and utterly insane, and you would struggle to find 1,000 people that silly. But having said that, very, very highly intelligent people stay in Amway for long periods of time. I mean, you and Peter, you're both highly intelligent people, and not so much Peter, but you stayed in the Amway Corporation for a long, long period of time. So it would be possible, but it just shows the absurdity of the situation where what's being taught is obscene, it's absurd, and the fact that, to me, the thing that's the most absurd about it is that they have political backing from these political parties. That's what we need to call out. They need to know that taking money from the Amway Corporation is extremely unpopular. I think the problem at the moment is most people aren't aware of how extreme it is. And that's one of the things that I've been I think it's been very encouraging in the last 12 months, that more people are now starting to talk about the fact that these politicians are taking money, big money, from MLM companies. Have you been happy with that, the fact that it's now being talked about?
Well, talk is cheap. You can talk all day long, all night long, unless people actually do something about it by submitting complaints and complain about the right things. It's not going to go anywhere. It's just like most MLM distributors don't do anything. And now you're trying to get the anti-MLM people to do stuff. Most of them won't. Most of them are lazy. Most of them really don't care. They're just in there having fun. A lot of them are afraid that there's going to be some kind of blowback legally, and don't want to get involved. So, you have a situation where a lot of people just don't do anything.
But I think you're being unfair there. You're calling Marco's audience of 86,000 people lazy. They're not all lazy. Most of them are people that, I'm one of his subscribers. I'm not lazy. Mad Dog is another one of his subscribers. Mad Dog is not lazy. So at least two people who aren't lazy. So I think it's unfair to call them lazy. I think.
Well, he's got 86,000 followers, but how many of those people watched his last live show?
A few. I think it was 5,000 or 6,000 this morning. That's pretty good. I think, Scott, you're underestimating how hard it is to get audience on YouTube. Most people on YouTube, a lot of people do very, very good work on YouTube, and they don't have an audience of anything like Marco's.